This is going to be one of the hardest things I'm going to have to do. I just know it because it's just been all around just fuckery and bullshit. But I'm going to try to make it quick, I guess. I knew this person. I'm not going to say their name. I'm not dropping names because it's already going to be some bullshit I'm going to have to deal with eventually. But I'm not going to drop any names, but they know who they are. We had a friendship for about 10 years, and I had to cut it off. And the reason why I cut it off, just because the person that was my friend, or at least I thought was my friend, is just very toxic, manipulative, could be naive at times, has a God complex, so I just didn't matter. I remember him telling me that he's probably the only person in my life that generally gives a shit about me. And even though technically that is true, it's such a little amount that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't negate the fact how toxic this person can be on a daily basis. There was a point in time where his baby moms, and at least what I considered a friend, I don't know the full story of that relationship, we didn't really end on the cleanest of notes, and I don't even remember the last thing I said to her, honestly. It's been such a long time that I just don't remember. People were blaming him for her suicide. And I defended him, like, no, like, obviously, yeah, she had issues, and we technically didn't help that either, but I can see why they would say that. Because he has a way of just making you feel so suicidal, so little, like you are beneath him. You don't matter. If it's not about him, you don't matter. And yeah, I wasn't the greatest friend either. There's been times where he wanted to fucking kill me. There's been times he wanted to get me removed from the situation. Those times he tried to make me go missing, and he's threatened me plenty of times with all different types of weaponry because I didn't agree with what he was saying. This is the same person that I helped save from overdosing about 6 times. And I'm about to tell a story right now that I've only said in my raps. I've never said anything publicly or anything like Facebook or Twitter or nothing like that. At least as far as I think, I haven't. I've said in probably private messages. There was a night where I was hanging out with them and they needed some money, so they decided to rob a drug dealer. And I've told this story plenty of times, so in private settings, not really public or anything like that. Like me and him and a couple of the buddies drinking, if it just happens to come up, it comes up. And I tell the story for a reason. I think it shows me how crazy life can get, and if you hang around with the wrong people, or at least the people that don't have your best interests at heart, can show you how just overall how crazy life can get sometimes. So they decided to have rob a drug dealer. It was in Bell Vernon. They were in Menneson. I live in Charleroi. I wasn't trying to walk home because it was like negative 20 degrees out. It was the middle of winter. I just got out of jail for 3 months. Just got out, and then now we're robbing a drug dealer. Why? Because they were my ride home. I couldn't call my mom at the time just because, like I said, I just got out of jail. I didn't want to bother her with that shit. So I had to walk home anyway, but that's later in the story. So I didn't walk home, so I had to be a part of it. I had to be a part of this plan. So hours later comes by. They got the person. They asked for, I think, $300 some worth of weed or something like that. And pretty much I think what they were going to do is they were going to grab the bag of weed or the cash or whatever, flip it so they can make the profit themselves. And these are kind of some street dudes. They really have street smarts, so I wouldn't have doubt they probably would have tripled their profits if push comes to shove. Shit goes south. Let's just say shit goes south, and I get blamed for it. So at that time, we left this project in Menneson. We went back to this person's house. I'm not trying to name any names. Like I said before, I'm not trying to blow it up even more. I'm not trying to criminalize these fucking people. and also too, even if I did, I was a part of it, so I'm really incriminating myself here. So, but realistically, we went back there. I got blamed for it. We started drinking because they stole some shit from, I think, the grandfather's cabinet or something. It was like, or attic or something. It was like something like that. These little airplane shots that was like 300 years old or something. Something like that. It's kind of fuzzy now, but and so we started drinking. They started drinking. Obviously, they started doing drugs because they had it at the time. Probably coke or heroin. That's usually the type of, or some type of pills. It's usually one of those three combinations on top of weed and alcohol. These are the type of people that, like, it's not a party unless you have at least 6 drugs in your system plus alcohol. And I'm not saying I'm better than them anyway, because I've been in those situations where I had 4 or 5 different drugs in my system to the point where I don't even know what I was feeling. I just know I was high as shit. I wasn't that perfect either of a person. We're in this basement, you know, we're not really supposed to be there, but we're in this basement. It's negative 20 degrees. Like, the windows are busted and there was a blanket. I'm cuddling with the other dude because we have to be warm. You know, I'm not trying to walk home. This dude comes in, my friend at the time, comes in, barges in, says, who wants to fight, insert name, you know, and overdoses right in front of me. And this was like the 6th time he pretty much like overdosed. Like, I saw the color of his skin leave. I saw the eyes roll back to the head and just dropped. Like he just dropped, you know. And his life is on the floor, like straight lifeless. And no response, no nothing. And for a good, I never told this part at all, but I did say it in one of my raps. But I tend to say a lot of the shit that I'm about to say now in raps just because I was way more comfortable with it, talking about it, than on the vlog. But I'm trying to be more expressive. I'm trying to get the shit that's deep inside of me off my chest, so maybe I can deal with shit better, maybe become a better person. You know, this is all about personal growth for me, and this is going to be like my therapy sessions in a lot of ways. For about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe a minute at most, within that time span, I was kind of looking pretty much at his lifeless body. He doesn't have color, he doesn't have any life in his eyes, and I just thought, like, God, I'm about to fucking hate this, to admit this, but I thought about just letting him die. Like I said, a good 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute went by of just wondering if I should just let him just die, because it's getting that bad. It got that bad to the point where if I do save him, all he's gonna do is just get high the next day and potentially overdose again, you know. And that's so fucked up to do to a person, to make you question someone's livelihood for something that doesn't matter. And yes, I've done drugs too, and I'm still struggling with, you know, drugs myself. I'm still debating if I should do it or not, you know, because it just feels so good. I get the point why he does it. It's such a great coping mechanism because it's cheap. You can easily get it. I can find jobs. I mean, I can find drugs way quicker than I could find a job. I could find drugs way quicker than I could find a girlfriend. I could find drugs way quicker than I could find love. You know, it's such an easy cop out to deal with your problems. And I do it from time to time too. You know, I'm no immune to the tools of my own self-destruction, and I've been saying that. You know, I'm no better than him. You know, in a lot of ways. You know, I am kind of like him in a lot of ways when it comes like having an addictive personality and stuff like that. But for a good amount of time, it probably felt like an eternity for me. But it probably felt like hours to me. But 30 seconds, 45 seconds to a minute, I questioned my morality, if I should just let him die or not. Obviously, I didn't let him die. Revived him, gave me CPR and stuff like that. And what crushed me, and I think that was the first start of the downfall in our friendship, where I was just being friends with him because I wasn't friends with anyone else. Like, he was my only friend that I didn't want to be alone. That was the start of it, where he woke up and pretty much called me a piece of shit. What have you done for me? Even though I just fucking revived his ass for the 6th time, and got into a giant argument. He left, and that's when I went over to his mom's house, and I wanted to talk to him like, yo, this friendship's done. And we was gonna 302 his ass the day after, but we tried to talk it out. The other dude came in, they started fighting, and we make jokes about it too, because it's just a crazy time in our lives that, like, we just have to laugh about it. You know, I think that's the way I cope with a lot of traumatic shit, is I joke about it, I laugh about it, just because that's the way I deal with things. And you know, I said I wasn't your friend anymore, and I left. I had to walk home, negative 20-degree weather. I'm in a fucking t-shirt, and sweatpants, you know, because that's all I had at the time. Came back here, and then the next day I pretty much had to talk my way out of these fucking, you know, drug dealers. Not just the person that we, you know, attempted to rob, but others as well. Her whole clique, pretty much. And the only way I talked my way out of it was because I knew another drug dealer that I went to high school with, and he talked, you know, was kind of like devil's advocate, you know. He pretty much said, like, they pretty much set my ass up to make it look like I was the mastermind of that shit. And that just wasn't the case. That just wasn't true. And that's, I know I'm summarizing a whole fucking, like, I could spend 2 hours talking about that night, but I'm trying to make this kind of quick. And that one night happened, or the intensity of that night, rather, not maybe that night particularly, but the intensity of that night happened on a regular basis. Just crazy fucking shit I just happened to find myself in because I associate myself with these people, but he was kind of like the ringleader, if you will. You know, there was a lot of things that happened before I met him, which is just shitty circumstances that I've been through, which I'll probably talk about in another vlog or whatever. But I'm saying for the last 10 years, he's the reason why I have a lot of issues today. At least like 75% of the issues that I have is because of him. The other 25% is me. It's obviously it's me. But like the last video where I talked about the situation that happened, I couldn't tell him that because he would just wouldn't take it seriously. He would just throw it under the bus and just brush it off, like, so everyone gets sexually assaulted. What makes you any different? You know, mine was worse. Mine was 10 times worse. You know, like, he's one of those one-uppers where, like, oh, you think you struggled in your life? Well, here's X, Y, and Z why you're wrong. Like, he wouldn't negate the fact that you're struggling through some type of pain or some traumatic experience. It's just, well, it's not nearly as worse as I am. I just got a call. But, and this was 10 years of this. Just 10 years of just constantly being belittled, not taking my side on things, completely one-sided. Like, there was another situation where I got hired by a pizza joint not that far from here. The boss wouldn't let me do anything. Got fired. Hired my roommate at the time, or our roommate at the time, because I was living with him at the same time, and proceeded me to call me a retard. I didn't know anything. I lied about my application, and my friend, who's kind of supposed to be on my side, or at least be the mediator, just automatically took that boss's viewpoint. But when it happened to him, the same exact scenario, it's the boss's fault. He's clearly a fucking retard. He doesn't know what he's doing. Literally the same exact situation, but I get the blame for it, and when it happens to him, he doesn't take the blame for it. Like, just very hypocritical, very one-sided, and it was just 10 years of this. And when we officially ended that friendship. I ended it because I was talking to his baby moms and my co-worker's baby moms at the time, and obviously my co-worker at the time. Like, I just said it, you know, I can't be myself around him. Like, when it came to vlogging or rapping or drawing, he always had some shit to say. Like, it was kind of like, look how great I am because my friend's a dumbass. Look how great I am because he's a fucking idiot. Look how great I am because of this. It was always that type of rhetoric. And I just got tired of it. And I think it got to the point where, even though we was drinking and I said some shit that he said himself and he just got pissed about it, because obviously we're drinking, we just can't handle emotions. We just can't. Especially when me or him were drinking, we'd always get into some shit. But when I said that, like, I just can't be myself around him, I don't want to be friends with him no more, as soon as I said that, it was over. I just had to say it. And I've been wanting to say that for years, for constant years. Every time he overdosed, every time he fucked me over, and granted, I fucked him over too. You know, I wasn't always the best of friends, you know, but he's made fun of my depression. He's made fun of my anxiety. He's made fun of my mental health and issues. He's made fun of my weight. And even if he didn't really mean to, and even if he knows for a fact that he could defend me, and I'll give credit when credit is due, he's been there at times when I know no one else will. I know for a fact that I can't take that away from him. He's been there for me that I know for a fact my family or friends at the time would never be there for me for. So I have to give him credit. But that 4 or 5 instances that he's really been there for me is completely taken over by the daily toxic behavior that he puts on people. And that's why I was done. And I didn't want to block him. I didn't want to on any social media site or anything like that. I don't want to block him. I don't want to be that petty, but sometimes you have to be fucking petty to make yourself happy. I learned that. And he's been trying to contact me on everywhere, and I'm going to point out, I'm going to take a screenshot of one of the messages, and it's right here. And he says, bro, it's not that serious. I would like to say thank you because you proved my point. All of the shit that I'm saying now, I could say it to your face, and you're just going to take it and run with it and say, it's my issue. I'm just being a baby about it. I'm just being a piece of shit about it. I'm just in my feels. Get the fuck over it. That's the point. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to be friends with you. He's one of those people, like, yeah, he wanted to give me his car, right? Not because he wants to see me doing good, but because the car wouldn't be his problem anymore. So it can make himself look better, so when he gets that truck or whatever, it can be better. If it's not about him, he can give 2 shits less about it. And that's the point. No matter how much you care for this nigga, it does not matter. And that was the shittiest fucking thing about it. And it got to the point where, in order for to prove my point, I started acting like him. Which was probably the wrong decision. Because I was so frustrated about it. I was so frustrated with this friendship, I started acting like him. Not towards him, but to everyone around me. Just to prove a point how shitty of a person he was at that time. You know? And I'm getting to the sentiment where, like, if he killed himself, a part of me is like, good fucking riddance. But there's another part of me that's like, damn, maybe I could have helped him. Just because that's the person I am. And it got to the point where, like, I just felt like, and it wasn't just him, it's everyone in my life, to the point where, like, I just don't have a voice. And that's probably the reason why I rap, because I could finally have a fucking voice. Because it's been suppressed almost every day of my life. And I struggle to make this because I know it's going to spread. I know people are going to be talking about it. And it's going to cause my fucking life to be fucking worse. And honestly, I don't give a fuck at this point. I'm just going to block anyone who wants to talk about it because I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm tired of this rhetoric. I'm tired of being sick and tired of this fucking shit. I'm tired of this bullshit. I want to end this chapter. I really wanted to end this fucking chapter when I went back to Poland. But the bus driver on the way to Poland talked me fucking out of it. Amongst other people. Along with my friends and family. My family's not that much better off either. The same shit that he did, they do as well. It's just a lot more subliminal, and it's instead of 10 years, it's been spanning for almost 20 years of my life. And this is going to be the last time I'm going to be talking about it.
You just seen another episodic vlog from RyoichiTV. Subscribe, like, comment for more, hit the bell for notifications, share this to somewhere on the internet. Socials in the description box below. See you in the next one. We're signing out.
Whoa, boy, you better rock slow. Who am I? I'm Picasso. Take the high road. A-shot, cause I ain't liable for no nigga. No, my fucking head is in the cosmos. Got it locked though. Bitch, I'm Pablo Picasso.